I'm Glenn Dyer, and you are watching A Dyer-Situation. Today we are going to see the new Superman movie, Man of Steel. Dylan, what do you think it's going to be like?
It's a Superman movie, so it can either be really good or below average. What I think it's gonna be like is I think it's gonna be good, but the villain looks like he's just gonna look completely stupid. For what I thought the villain is gonna be, it looks like he's just gonna look completely stupid and over the top.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Now Alex.
Well, I'm going to be, contrary to my popular self, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about this movie. It seems that superhero movies are getting better and better, at least for now. So I just think that the Superman movie is actually going to be pretty good. But there are a few things. But like he said, the weird looking villain, but I haven't seen too much of it, so I just hope it isn't Lex Luthor, because it seems that he's been the popular villain for Superman, even though there are other ones like Brainiac, Darkseid. I hope they don't do Darkseid either, because he's kind of a big villain. But someone like that. And then another thing, it's really just a nitpick, but they changed the gender of one of the characters. Why? They changed. I think of this because I saw this like Today Show thing, like interview, I think, some kind of whatever it was. They said that they changed the gender of Jimmy Olsen to Jenny Olsen. Why? I know he's like a their character, but it just seems to serve no purpose at all.
Who exactly is he?
He's basically the
Coffee boy.
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
He could be like the bumbling sidekick, but he's not a sidekick. He's the bumbler.
Sounds fun.
He is. But I don't know why they changed gender. I just hope it doesn't play too much into the movie, if at all. So, that's me.
Alright. I'm always last, so.
Okay, how to start? Just saying, the only reason I'm seeing this movie is for this review. Right? This is a movie I would not normally see. I'm not saying that, well, for some reason superhero movies don't really seem to capture my interest that much. It's not that I dislike the genre. I don't, but they just don't reel me in for whatever reason. I'm probably the least in the know with Superman here. I just basically know the general outline of the backstory. That Popeye cartoon, that one cartoon Doug Walker riffed, coincidentally both are made by the same company, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's why I find Superman a little hard to take seriously. Maybe it's the name, the costume, I don't know, but with this movie, I do not necessarily have expectations, I have desires. I want it to be enjoyable, I want it to be entertaining, I want to be able to know what's going on. What was that other one? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, the general gist of it. So, as long as it lives up to those expectations, it should be fine.
Alright, I'm personally quite excited for this. I've seen quite a few trailers and stuff. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. However, after Superman Returns, I'm not too optimistic about Superman movies. I personally think it's going to be a pretty good shot. You know,
So,
maybe they've learned from Superman Returns.
What exactly are you predicting this will be best of 2013?
Well, why? Because I didn't think of anything else that might be better. Honestly.
So kind of like an American Graffiti taste then?
Yeah, kind of. Just like, I didn't think of any movie though that would probably be any better.
Yeah.
Did I see any good movies this year? I forgot.
I
I don't know.
Think of a few bad ones.
Yeah, alright. Well, we'll get into that later. So, we'll talk about it after these non-existent messages. And we're back from just seeing Man of Steel, or as I like to call it, Exposition the Movie. So, Alex, what did you think?
Well, it seems that this movie tried to start itself 3 times in a row. You got the backstory, which I think could have been a movie by its own. Like, you have the whole Krypton thing That seemed to take on, and I think it went on a bit longer than it should have. But and then let's see what else. Then you have like the kid when he's like, I guess you can say Smallville, but in smaller movie form. And then they keep trying to cut back to it. Why not just have it at the same time? Whatever. No, oh, I know why. Because they have to keep hammering in the same message over and over, so they don't want it to seem redundant, but it does. But and then the third one you have you have Lois Lane in the soon-to-be Fortress of Solitude. It doesn't happen, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be there. And then it goes on. Despite that, oh yeah, another thing. The villain wasn't Lex Luthor, so yay. It was actually General Zod. I didn't quite think that would happen.
Thanks
but
for the spoilers. Thanks for the spoilers, by the way.
well, whatever. You see it in the first freaking 5 minutes.
Sure, it's still spoilers, man.
Whatever. So
I'll mention it in the description if you didn't see it.
I don't think this counts as too much of a spoiler. I mean,
All right.
okay. So spoilers: Krypton explodes. So then everything happens, and I thought it was pretty good. It seems that the Superman curse has been broken for at least a little bit. And I kind of enjoyed it myself. Some silly moments happened, but what do you know? It's a superhero movie. Those are bound to happen somewhere. But, again, I liked it. So, that's me.
All right. Dylan, what'd you think?
I thought it was just weird. The first part of the movie, it feels like I'm watching the prequel of Star Wars. Because I feel like it's just like all CGI. And these weird animals are everywhere. It's like, what the hell are those? And the acting ranges from laughably over the top to meh.
Superman's biological mother, just miscast.
Yeah. Like I said.
When I say over the top, I mean General Zod. I could not take him seriously at all.
He does portray the original Zod from the movies pretty well.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? Trying to collect my thoughts. It also feels like I'm watching Transformers, where it's just like endless action and
Explosions.
shit blowing up everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised Michael Bay was not mentioned in the credits at all.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that boat as well.
Let's see, what else? Let my eyes wander everywhere as I think for something. That's all I got.
All right.
Okay, basically, my thoughts on this movie can be summed up in two statements. One, the cinematography was just bad. I am so glad we did not see this in 3D. This is not a good choice for 3D. The way this was filmed, no! Les Mis would have been a better candidate. And so much shaky cam! I think I'm done with shaky cam now, at least for the time being.
Have you seen The Hunger Games, Rob?
No, yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I'm not interested in Hunger Games anyway, but this did not help in that respect.
The Hunger Games is worse than in that respect.
Yeah, so I've heard. Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. My second statement, even though I was able to follow it okay enough, and I wouldn't call it boring, I very easily could have fallen asleep at pretty much any point throughout this movie. Maybe after the intro it would come more into effect, but yeah, throughout this whole movie I just could have gone out of...
After the intro, so after the first hour.
Okay,
intro.
okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Okay, like after a little while, I just could have gone out at any moment. Go on.
Speaking of the cinematography, the action scenes are a headache to follow.
Ugh.
Cause the camera goes like.
Or again, even just like scenes of people just like Clark and his father talking.
Oh yeah, it seems that whenever they have like some kind of flashback moment, they seem to put like a very tiny amount of sepia filter over the camera, so it just looks so. It looks just enough to be sepia to be very jarring to at least me.
Oh, I just remembered.
Also,
Okay, you
speaking of his father, he feels like Deus Ex Machina at the around
Wait, who? Russell Crowe dad or Kevin Costner dad?
his biological father.
Russell
Russell
Crowe
Crowe.
dad.
He feels like he's like a Deus Ex Machina thing near like the end.
Pretty much.
Like he just shows up
And does stuff.
and just disappears. And he does things that really I don't think a hologram should be allowed to do.
Well,
That just sounds so wrong.
They kind of.
Rob, really?
Okay. They did kind of explain that a bit. I mean, if you listen, he wasn't like just a hologram, and that's about all I'm gonna say. Because Glenn seems to be worried about me spoiling too much.
Yep. Okay, the thing, product placement in this movie?
Oh god! Like there's one point where she puts her camera right in the face, like her picture camera's like Nokia, like right in your face.
Or there's a
Or there's a fight in the IHOP, like they just smash into the IHOP and you see IHOP everywhere. They are shameless with their product placement in this.
Then wrong. Go on.
That's all I have to say. What you keep on going.
Yeah, keep going.
You keep
No,
going.
it was just a Mac and Me reference. I'm not worth it.
Okay then.
That might be it. Okay, one last line.
He's kind of hot.
You'll know when you see it.
And I almost kind of saw it coming. Not a lot. But anyway.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Alright. So, can we watch Superman Returns again? I miss it. I miss it so much. I miss the simplicity of it. I despised this movie. I really didn't like it.
Compared to Oz?
Oz was worse, but, where do I begin? Alright, so, remember I called it exposition of movie. I call it that because basically, three-quarters of the movie are spent explaining the fourth quarter. It seems like, this is by the same guy who directed the Dark Knight movie,
Yeah.
right? I have no idea what the hell he was going for with this, because, Dark Knight seemed to keep things kind of simple, right? Or at least it took the idea of Batman and basically simplified it into a way that a movie can handle, because comic books are spread out over a large period and they can have a pretty complex history behind them, but
Don't even get me started.
but in a movie, you have an audience that's there for an hour and a half. You need to cut out some things and add some things to make it better. With this thing, it seemed like he gave up on that idea and was trying to shove in every bit of information he can. It reminded me of kind of the Green Lantern film,
I
where
don't
they're
think he actually directed it.
It might have been. at
He
least
was
produced.
involved. But
He was
yeah,
involved.
yeah, he produced it.
Produced it. At least.
produced it. That explains it. But it seems like they're trying to keep the entire Superman mythology intact, but try and condense it into an hour and a half of
2.5.
2.5 hours
Or-
of babbling.
Or 1.5. Does that just exclude the rest of the movie then? Or
I don't know.
No,
it's hard to
that's-
tell when
that's-
this movie's intro ends. It goes on for so damn long, explaining every last bit of his backstory. This is worse than the Halloween remake. The Halloween remake was only half the movie spent on his backstory. This is almost all of it on his backstory. And then it's finally I think it's so weird. There's this one scene where he's fighting the lady and some other guy. And it felt like it's so weird. The scene starts right after he does this thing, and then they have this fight, and afterwards it ends in basically the same way the last scene ended, and seems almost pointless. What I think happened with that was that at some point during production, the director realized, hey, you know what? Superman does absolutely nothing except for the very end. Maybe we should just add in this scene here, even though it doesn't make too much sense. We'll just add it here. And that's the problem. They're acting like, in this movie, the Superman movie was acting like Superman was like a burden on the whole movie-going experience. It was, what were you gonna say?
Finish what you were gonna say.
Okay. And that's the problem. This movie seems to be working against the Superman. It didn't want to, almost like it didn't want to be a Superman movie. It wanted to be like a Transformers movie or something like that. But they had to have Superman in there, and it was an utter disappointment for me.
However, what if this was on an original character instead of an established one?
Well, the thing is, if you don't know what Superman is, you are fucked if you go see this movie. Because when I mentioned they try to condense all the information in there, they cut out some things just enough to where you won't know what the hell's going on. Like, what I think they should have done is make their own character that's kind of like Superman. You know, like what they did with The Dark Knight. But, like, they take the same idea, but turn it into a movie rather than into a mess, which is what this thing did. And it's really confusing to follow. Like, I'm a, like, average comic book reader, and, you know, I was confused at times what the hell was going on. And I feel so sorry for someone who doesn't know anything about the Superman mythos. Admittedly, Superman's a known character and stuff, but still, like, this movie takes a lot of liberties with the idea of what the audience knows and what it doesn't. And I'm not sure how to expand on anything else unless you guys bring up any topics.
Speaking of the way the backstory is explained, it seems to fast forward, rewind between different parts of his backstory on Earth. And can it just stay with one part? Like, it shows him, like, at real time, then it goes to him, like, a couple years ago, and then goes to him as a kid, and it just hops back and forth.
Those could have been, I'm pretty sure those could have been just left out, and it wouldn't have done anything to it. I mean, so what if event A happened? I mean, it really didn't have any impact on the story other than just hammering in the same thing.
And also, what this movie lacked when trying to shove in all this exposition into every corner of stuff, what it missed out on was a little thing called character development. Alright? Like, by the time the climax was going, I was just so bored with this movie. I barely knew the characters in it, except for Superman, because you know who Superman is, but everyone else, Lois Lane was basically a very generic, I'm doing stuff lady, and nobody felt three-dimensional in the least, not even Superman. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think this was a problem with the Green Lantern movie as well. Like, they were trying to put too much mythos in there, but not enough character, which is honestly more important than mythos.
Character comes first, and then you can build upon it.
But, like, no, they seem to forget that. Like, I think what their intention was that, like, they have a Superman movie, and people are like, oh, yay, Superman. And like, maybe it was meant to accommodate, like, the nerds or something who would like all the exposition rather than character.
That seems to be what's the case here, because I know more than, I'm pretty sure, than all of you about the Superman mythos, and I liked it. So, I guess that's me.
I think maybe it's meant to appeal to people who have, like, kind of a knowledge of Superman, so they can go see it, they can hear stuff, and they can feel smart, so then they can recommend it to others, and they can make a sequel later. Like, I think maybe that was their intention, instead of, like, actually appealing to most people. And it is a major problem, honestly.
What the hell would they do for a sequel?
There's a lot of, like, the other villains I mentioned back when.
Oh, yeah.
Although something I kind of like, they actually mentioned LexCorp, but it was in the background. It was pretty nice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there it is.
I was like, oh, LexCorp, that's in there.
Yeah.
But that's like the only good thing I can actually think of about this.
So it sounds kind of like from Best to Worst. It was him, me, him, you.
Yeah, I really, really didn't like this. It's not by far not the worst movie I've seen this year, but
How about like compared to American Graffiti?
come on, bro.
Oh, come on.
Sorry.
Stop giving me easy ones.
Yeah. To me, this was just a major disappointment of a film. And yeah, it's, especially since there was such a long period between the last one. You think maybe they would have learned their lesson after Returns, but I guess not. And maybe we'll have to wait another decade before they make another one, and maybe that one will be good. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Anyone got anything else?
I'm just kind of surprised how polarizing this was between you and me. Is that I don't know how we saw the same movie, and I'm not saying that you're. It's just that I'm just so interested to see how we got two different viewpoints of the same movie. I don't know either, but if you're like me, I guess you'll like it. And if you're everyone else, I think you'll hate it.
All right. If you're a hippie,
Well,
If you're a hippie who knows things, then you'll like
Well, I didn't say that I hated it or liked it. I just said it was weird.
Weird.
Because everything's just so jumbled up. Like you said, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess.
Yeah. So my vote for this is I don't really recommend it. If you're a really big fan of Superman, maybe you'll get something out of this, but for most people, I don't think it'll be very enjoyable. And that's about all I have to say about it.
I'm good.
Anyone else? Anything?
Not necessarily.
Okay, now
unless talking
okay.
about the character deaths will be like a massive spoiler. Like aside from
I don't know if we can talk about that.
like the side characters or the
Wilhelm
like
screen
the
popped
background
up.
Oh yeah, the Willem screen popped up.
Oh, yeah, there was a Willem. Yeah, they added a Willem scream in there, and we all.
I'm gonna hate rewatching that.
But what I was talking about is that no one seems to want to die. Like, okay, aside from the first death from, I'm not gonna say.
Oh, wait, there's another one. You're forgetting someone who doesn't want to die. Who did want to die and to do something.
Alright.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. But throughout most of the movie, aside from like around the beginning, it's just like no one seems to want to die. Like when that one Kryptonian chick gets like horribly beaten up and is like probably about to die. Nope. Saved. Put back in the ship.
Yeah, what happened to that character? He was just there and then he just disappeared for the rest of the movie.
Oh no.
What was that? Oh, different topic. The changing of gender. How did that go?
Well, since they really didn't develop Jimmy Olsen or
I
Jenny
never even
Olsen.
heard the name Jenny Olsen throughout this.
I heard Jenny.
I heard Jenny.
So yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
What a great nod to the
Yeah, I heard
fans.
it somewhere.
Why?
If you aren't even gonna show it, why change the gender?
Women's rights.
It's like they told people about this. Oh, it's gonna be a big change. Nothing happened. They don't even know what I was talking about. Why? It's so pointless.
So what is he forgets what he's talking about?
Oh, did you hear about that new Batman movie they're making? But now Alfred is Allison.
What?
And the only time we're gonna hear it is when Batman's like, Allison, get me this, and we never actually see her.
Yeah. So nothing.
Spider-Man, the Green Goblinetta.
Green Goblinette.
Goblinetta, or yeah, Goblinette's funnier.
Just because.
Yeah. So that didn't affect anything at all. That could have been a hermaphrodite and that would have made a difference.
Jenny, or whatever.
You! dear.
Leave. Sorry. You know, either way.
Schlee or Schler.
Oh, Futurama. Okay.
Okay, that's it. That's
Alright, I think we got it for this movie here. So, some of you might be wondering if you saw my last one. Well, you mentioned at the end that this is going to be a very solemn and special episode. I don't see anything special too much about this except for here. Well, now I am going to explain it. Some of you may not know this, but I was born and raised for the first 14 years or so of my life in the country known as New Zealand. And as I am now a recent graduate of high school right now, I am going to move back there. Now, this means many different things. For one thing, Dyer-Situation, but as you know it now, is over. This is special because this is the last American Dyer-Situation you will ever see. Unless there's some sort of special in many years down the road. It is it is quite likely the last time all four of us will be in a room together talking about a movie.
A recent movie, at least.
Especially Dylan. Dylan's probably going to leave us the first.
Wait, what?
We all know it, Dylan.
Okay, bye.
No,
There you go.
Baby, come back.
Well, you know, it already happened. But,
You should see the look he gave me. You should
Yeah.
have seen it.
Yeah. It needs to be pictured. Someone needs to have taken a picture of that.
Dylan, come here and give that look to the camera.
please! Screw that. Come on, Dylan, come back. We love you. We love you, Dylan. Aww.
Should I go get him?
Sure.
Okay.
Done!
Come
Okay,
here, boys.
so, yes, a last of American Dyer-Situation. However, do not look upon this as being sad. Although, no. Sit down, come on. Good boy. You're not in frame, Rob. Get back.
Coming back. Okay.
Okay, alright.
Aside from that non sequitur.
Alright, back in New Zealand, as some of you might have thought of by now, it is going to be a little harder for me to get you the movies at the same rate I am now. Because I will only see American movies when they get an international release. However, I will still try to see as many movies as possible. However, it may be maybe once or twice a month instead of once every week. Just because of how things work. It's kind of sad, but it's how it's going to happen. However, the good thing that's coming out of this means I'm going to have a lot more time to dedicate towards Chadwick Jones. I'm going to put more effort into it. I'm actually going to get a part-time job. I'm going to try and raise up money so that way I can get even better special effects, better equipment to try and make the episodes better. And you will start to see a new version of Chadwick Jones that will be emerging. So that's the future you can expect from Dyercentral and the Dyer-Situation. As for everybody else here, Rob Bergman here has his own channel, two channels actually.
One of which is pretty much just dormant these days.
Yeah, Free or Free Nobody is a skit channel that's kind of dormant at the moment, but...
Oh, really, kinda? That's a bit of an understatement.
Alright, I haven't done
That
anything.
channel
Extremely dormant.
Yeah, that's better.
That channel still exists?
It's
Yeah.
like a 0 Kelvin right now. There.
Yeah, okay, but he might do something on that later. But
Yeah.
but
I
alright.
get anything. But otherwise, we have Miss Selenius.
Miscellaneous, yes.
hold on.
I'm going to add an annotation around here to click for miscellaneous.
Watch my videos.
Yeah, he has his own review show where he has his own character.
We had our
and,
crossover.
We had a crossover review, and
on my channel.
Yeah.
and yeah. So check out his videos. He'll be doing stuff like that from time to time.
I
And
can't
he-
say how often, but should be somewhat regular, like at least
Yeah.
one a month.
Yeah, these two bozos are gonna try and do their thing as far as I know. Alex, he is having major technological problems.
I seem to have the curse of the camera. Whenever I try to get a camera, it ends up breaking out when I try to record. So we'll see how that happens.
It's because he's a hippie. Technology hates him. I can still hear you whispering. No, you can't.
As for me, I haven't even bothered to get anything done.
So
Alright,
far he has a name, that's it.
Yeah, he has a name, and in maybe like 20 years he'll have something up.
I have a name.
Yeah,
I totally forgotten.
Binary reviewer.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Or
yeah.
like Thrilled, whatever.
No, that's
my
a
channel.
So
Okay,
he
that's
might
fine.
or might not do a Let's Play thing later, or he'll just slip into obscurity. It's Dylan, so what do you expect? But Alex hopes to get his thing up maybe within the next year or so. You know.
Yeah, hopefully within the next
Gonna
year.
purchase a Mac and try and get all this stuff working.
$500 in.
So hopefully you will be seeing more from all of us, but sadly this is the last recorded thing of us at this point in our lives. And
Unless we manage to get something like through Skype or something.
maybe. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what the future has to offer. But for right now, this is the most probable end. And I would just like to say to you guys, it has been a great pleasure being with you over these years. And
you.
And I'm so glad that you guys got onto Dyer-Situation with me, so we could talk about these movies and influence all 12 of your lives for the better. So yeah.
You're welcome, 12 people.
Yes, you're welcome. I'm sure we make your lives so fantastic.
Then in a couple of years, the amount of viewers will be upgraded to 13.
Yay!
Yay!
For you person who's going to click along in a decade, and like yes, if you haven't been killed by the purge yet, then yes, please, we thank you for that, for watching.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. Okay, thanks, bye.
Alright. Until, well, a very long next time, I am Glenn Dyer, and you have been watching a very solemn Dyer-Situation.
Look at them yo-yos, that's the way to do it. You play the guitar on the empty